Now it's 4:30 on WKYT this morning. People in Nicholasville are reaching out to the police department after an officer was killed in a crash there.
Protests erupting in Ferguson, Missouri this morning. 2 officers have been shot. We'll have the latest on the scene outside the Ferguson Police Department. And also here in Lexington, police trying to track down the man accused of shooting a 9-year-old boy.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Sunshine and clear skies will be here again today. But you mentioned this, not for long apparently. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Well, the evening showers will roll into the bluegrass. We hate to say it yet again. Let's check in now with WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of that clearing this morning, and what that's leading to is some more fog on the ground. And look, a lot of this that you're going to be running into, it's very patchy like you saw yesterday. I don't think it's as dense or as widespread, but you are going to see some spots here and there with some very low visibility issues. You can see 0.7 there in Lexington. You look towards Somerset, we're sitting there at 0 miles. So just keep in mind, you're going to be running into that. Luckily, no rain outside. We picked up plenty of rain down toward the southeast yesterday, but that has moved on out. 30s, 40s, and even a couple of 50s. Out about in the region. 61 by this afternoon, a pretty nice day in store, and it looks like we're just going to continue to see a lot of that sunshine throughout the afternoon. Few clouds build in out ahead of this next system. This next system really comes later on tonight and into tomorrow morning, where it really picks up on Friday and off into Saturday. Now I'll go into the latest forecast, what the flood threat looks like right now, coming up in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you in a few, and we thank you. Nicholasville police are telling us they have suffered a major loss. This morning, they're remembering a police officer who died in a crash.
Police say 35-year-old Nicholasville police officer Burke Rhoads died yesterday morning after the crash on US 27 in Garrett County. He was headed to training in Richmond at the time. Police say a car hit Officer Rhoads' cruiser, causing it to spin into the opposite lane. An SUV hit it. Those in the other vehicles survived. Nicholasville police say Officer Rhoads was an 8-year veteran of the department. People who know him say he leaves behind a wife and 3 children.
Great guy, super nice, family man, good family.
Yesterday afternoon, police escorted Officer Rhoads' body from UK Hospital to Betson West Funeral Home in Nicholasville. Folks in the community are reaching out to Nicholasville police in a show of support. Garrett Weimer has the story.
As the sun set on a day so full of sadness here in Nicholasville, marks of mourning stood out on Main Street. A flag at half-staff at City Hall, 2 wreaths across the street at the police department. Signs that the community Officer Burke Rhoads swore to protect now mourns his loss.
Everybody going into this job knows this is a possibility, but no one ever wants to have to do it.
A procession to the funeral home here, a token of respect for the department's first line-of-duty death since 1941.
We train to shoot, hoping to God we never have to shoot somebody. We train as an honor guard for line-of-duty deaths, and we just pray that it's never one of ours. And today it was.
Now the Heroes Memorial Foundation is urging folks everywhere to turn on a blue light, either on their porch or in a window, to honor Officer Rhoads' service. The community is already reaching out, as is a charity that helps fallen officers' families.
We hate to see it, but it's a time when the law enforcement community comes together, and we try to do what we can for the family and the department.
Yet even now, officers' duty to their brother in blue is far from finished.
We have an officer posted with him 24 hours a day until after the funeral. He's not alone, and the family knows that we're still protecting Burke because he can't protect himself right now.
In Nicholasville, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, at last check, funeral arrangements had not been finalized for the officer. Betson West Funeral Home in Nicholasville is handling those.
This morning, Lexington police have identified the man who they say shot a 9-year-old boy. Police have obtained an arrest warrant for 28-year-old Alberto Contreras. They say he is considered an international flight risk. On Saturday, police say Contreras fired a shot at an SUV off Russell Cave Road, hitting a boy riding inside. The boy is still in Kentucky Children's Hospital. Contreras was in the Fayette County Jail on unrelated charges, but jail leaders say he was released. Police think he is driving a blue 2001 Kia Rio with Kentucky plates.
New this morning, we're tracking reports out of Ferguson, Missouri that 2 police officers have been shot. The shots were fired early this morning outside the police department there in Ferguson. One officer was shot in the face, the other shot in the shoulder. Protesters had been gathering after the resignation of Police Chief Thomas Jackson. Jackson was the 6th employee to resign or be fired from the department. That's after a Justice Department report cleared Officer Darren Wilson of civil rights charges. All this after the police shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown.
School leaders say that increased security at Bryan Station High School will be in place today after a gun scare. The school's principal says there was a report of a student with a gun. A Fayette County Schools spokesperson says the student involved left campus yesterday morning, but security was increased as a precaution. School leaders say no one has been arrested at this point, but security will be increased again today. A toy weapon caused a scare at a Jackson County middle school. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says they received a report of a weapon at the school yesterday, but investigators say they quickly found out it was just a toy gun. They say it appears the student who brought it accidentally had it in his bag. The school is investigating, but the Sheriff's Office does not believe there was any criminal intent.
It's now been a week since family members say they've seen or even heard from an Eastern Kentucky man, and this morning they fear something bad has happened to him. Family members say 56-year-old Eddie Sheffield was headed from Nicholasville to Tennessee when he disappeared. He lives in Breathitt County. Jordan Valines talked to Sheffield's son.
For Jason Sheffield and his family,
the past few days have been the worst.
it's been a week of waiting,
I want to know where he's at.
a week of worrying,
I mean, he's my father. I want to know.
a week since the last time anyone heard from his father, 56-year-old Eddie Sheffield.
He talked to his girlfriend at like 3 p.m. Wednesday, and she was supposed to call him back, or he was supposed to call her back. No phone call was ever made.
He says his father left his Breathitt County home earlier that day with plans to drive to Nicholasville for work and then down to Nashville to buy a trailer.
He never made it to Nashville, we know that.
Similar instances have happened in the past.
My dad's been known to disappear for a few days, 2, 3, maybe 4, but someone's always known where he was.
But the circumstances surrounding his father's latest disappearance
A week with no contact with anybody.
now has him concerned.
We got to hope for the best, but we got to prepare for the worst. And we started discussing worst case scenarios earlier today, and
That something went terribly wrong.
it's not even something I want to think about.
So for now,
I just want him to call, come home,
Jason is focusing on the
And-
best case scenario.
have some wild story as to where he's been and why he hasn't answered his phone.
Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Well, Kentucky State Police are currently investigating Eddie Sheffield's disappearance. Police say he was last seen driving a 2006 Gold Mercury Mountaineer.
A 4-year-old girl continues to recover this morning after police say her father accidentally shot her. It happened Sunday morning at a home in Campbellsville. Police say the girl's father was cleaning the gun when it accidentally fired, hitting the girl in the leg. Neighbors tell us the girl is still in the hospital, but her mother says she's doing better.
She really seems in good spirits, and she said that they were going to, hopefully the little girl would get out into a regular room today, and that she was still asking for prayers.
Campbellsville police are investigating, but no charges have been filed at this point. They say they have gun locks available to anyone who would like one.
Well, this morning the search continues for a military helicopter that crashed off Florida's coast. The military says 11 Marines and soldiers were on board. The copter crashed late Tuesday night not too far from Pensacola. The military says some human remains and pieces of wreckage have washed ashore. All 11 people on board the helicopter are presumed dead. Dense fog has slowed search efforts. It was also foggy when the helicopter crashed when this whole thing happened, but investigators are not sure if weather played a role. The search will continue through the night.
A mystery along the Ohio River this morning. Police say someone found a body at the Markland Dam in Gallatin County. Police were called to the dam yesterday afternoon. They say the body was found floating in the water. The person has not been identified at this point, and investigators are not sure what caused the death.
The Franklin County Sheriff's Office has scheduled a press conference for this morning. Deputies say the conference will be held at 11 o'clock today. They have not said what they will be discussing except for a case involving stolen bourbon. It will be at their office on Main Street, and we will update you right here on WKYT.
Well, if you're driving through Lexington today, prepare for some delays. State highway workers will be around town patching up all those potholes. Today, they'll focus on major highways leading in and out of Lexington, such as Newtown Pike, Richmond Road, Nicholasville Road, and Versailles Road. And tonight, between 6 and midnight, they'll focus on New Circle Road and Interstates 64 and 75. State highway crews say pothole work will continue Monday through Friday until further notice. So just be ready for that.
I saw that happening yesterday on New Circle. You have to be mindful and patient and just, really don't, get too frustrated, because this is just making the roads better.
Well, it needs to be done. That's right, because the more frustrating is to hit the pothole, right? All right, it's 4:40, 20 before 5 on WKYT this morning. We're just getting started with all the latest.
Car seats aren't something you should skimp on. Moms Every Day breaks down what safety features you should look for coming up.
30s, 40s, and even a 50-degree reading down in the southern zones. It looks pretty good today. I mean, enjoy that sunshine while it lasts, because here comes more rain as we head into the overnight hours. I'll show you the latest forecast in just a few minutes.